بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. Yesterday we talked about Hani radiyallahu anha and how Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after the conquest of Makkah, he proposed to her. And the reason he proposed to her was that her husband did not accept Islam. And he fled Makkah, and he fled all the way from Makkah to a place called Najran. And therefore her nikah automatically was dissolved, because obviously she is in the state of Iman and he was in the state of Kufr, and Islam was presented to him. Unfortunately, he did not accept Islam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took pity on her and proposed to her in marriage, and she gave the answer that nothing would be more dear to me than to be in the nikah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, she gave two reasons: that qad kabirt, that I have advanced in age, my days of marriage are over now, and in addition to that, waliya iyal, I've got children. And it's on that occasion, what she meant was, waliya iyal is that there's rights of the husband. If I get married, I need to give time to my husband, I need to attend to him, and I can't probably do both. I've got 3-4 children to look after, and at the same time, if I have to balance the responsibilities of a husband, then definitely one of the two will suffer. One of the two will suffer. And it's on that occasion Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Nisa'u Quraysh khayru nisa'in rakibna al-ibil, that the women of Quraysh, because Hani radiyallahu anha was from the same qabila, same tribe as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quraysh. So he says that the women of Quraysh, khayru nisa, they are the best of women, rakibna al-ibil. This is actually a figurative term used for Arabs. Khayru nisa al-Arab, the women of Quraysh are the best women who have ever mounted camels. That's the literal meaning, i.e. who used to mount camels in those days? The Arabs. So out of all the Arab women, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying the women of Quraysh, they are the best, and he gives the reason. Ahnahu ala tifl, they are very caring, compassionate, affectionate upon their children. Like Hani radiyallahu ta'ala anha, what was the reason that she refused the proposal of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It was her children, the care and the affection what they needed, especially now that their father was not there. The care they needed, it would have been much more. The affection they needed, it would have been much more. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on that occasion, he made this statement, ahnahu ala tifl, and he gives the reason. And the second is wa ar'ahu ala zawj fi dhati yadih. Ar'a means that they are very considerate, very observant, very mindful of the husband in terms of his mal, of his possessions. Fi dhati yadih literally means whatever is in his hands, i.e. whatever he possesses. From this hadith we learn that a woman, a wife, a mother, she should have these two qualities inside her. Number one, the care and the attention and the affection of her children should come first. Like Hani radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she puts her children first. She puts her children above the proposal, the very nikah proposal of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She politely declines the proposal, and she gives the reason as well, that I have my children to look after. I have my children to look after. They are my responsibility. Remember, they are not Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's own children. They are her children. So she goes, my children, their care, their attention comes first. If I got married, I would have to basically adhere to the huquq of the husband as well, the rights of the husband. And to balance both, it's going to be difficult for me. So from this we learn that our mothers, our wives, this is the quality they should have, that I put my children first. And I think this is a very important lesson for the current times we live in, the current era we live in, that children sometimes they're not put first, their affection, their love, their care. Why? Because both parents are working. Both parents are working. And let's be honest, people can say what they want to, but if the mother is working anything from 25, 30, 35 hours a week, and she's got young children, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, whatever, it's a non-starter. It's very difficult to juggle both. Just like Hani radiyallahu ta'ala anha, what does she refuse? The very proposal of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because she says to juggle both is going to be difficult for me. Now if somebody is working 30, 35 hours a week, and then they've got young children to manage as well, the care, the affection which you're supposed to give them, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, you can shower them with materialistic things, you can give them this gadget to play with, basically, and you will probably damage their development. Children nowadays from the age of 2, 3 or even earlier, they've got gadgets, and basically they are actually damaging the development of these children. These children are largely, mute when they come to madrasa and school. Many of them have speech problems, etc., because lack of communication. For 2 years, 3 years, the time when their brain is developing at its peak, all they've been exposed to is this. I was in a supermarket just 2-3 days ago, literally 2 days ago, and there was a Muslim couple shopping, and they had their child with them, and he was sitting in the, what do you call that thing, in the trolley, and just to keep him occupied, they had given him this. I thought to myself, this child should be enjoying the experience of shopping. Coming out with the parents and talking, interacting, absorbing the environment, and enjoying that whole experience. And what's that child doing, Ya Allah? Busy, doesn't know what's happening around him, doesn't know what's going on, just engrossed in their tablet, basically, playing games. I thought, Ya Allah, what's the world coming to? What is the world coming to, basically? So this is a very, thought-provoking message from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that ahnahu ala tifl. He praises the women of Quraysh, one, because they are affectionate, they are caring for their children, they put their children first. And I'll just give you just to give you some context. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that ana wa imra'atun safa'ul khaddain kahataini yawm al-qiyamah, and then he went like this, that me and a woman, safa'ul khaddain, whose cheeks have become pale, discolored, will be like this on the day of Qiyamah, i.e. in terms of proximity. What does this hadith mean? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then elaborates that imra'atun dhatu mansab wa jamal. This is a woman who's from a good lineage, a good background, a good family. She's also beautiful as well. She's got beauty as well. However, amat min zawjiha. She's become widowed from her husband. Her husband has left the world, and she's still young. She could be 30, 35, still of marriageable age. So her husband has left the world. However, habasat nafsaha ala aitamiha. She's basically withheld herself from doing nikah because of her yatim, her orphan children. Because of her orphan children, she's putting their care first. She is putting their care first. Because remember, if this woman was to get married to somebody else, these children are her children. They're not that person's children. The responsibility of those children is hers. It's not that person's, the new husband's. And obviously, she now has to balance her children. She's got to balance him as well, and it's a difficult act. especially if you've got 2-3 children and they're still quite young. They're still quite young. Even a child of 11, 12, 13 is still quite young. So this woman, because of this reason, she does not do any nikah. So Rasulullah ﷺ says that me and this type of woman, so Saf'a'ul Khaddain, her cheeks have become pale, discolored. Why? Because of the length of time without nikah. And also tarku zina, she basically stops adorning herself because she does not want to get married. She doesn't want to give the wrong impression. So she doesn't adorn herself. So Rasulullah ﷺ says that this type of woman and me, we will be close together in Jannah, i.e. she will have a high rank in Jannah. So one thing we learn is that our mothers, our wives, our sisters, they should be caring, affectionate and compassionate. This is the mother's quality and sifa. The father needs to be this as well. The father needs to be this as well. But this normally comes from the mother. The affection and the care and love comes from the mother. When the child cries at night, who is concerned first? Yeah? Yeah? He snores away. It's the mother. Her love, her affection gets her up. And despite how tired she may be, she will attend to that child. Think of your own mothers. Think of your own mothers. It's the mother who does this because she's the one who's got that love and the care and attention inside her. That special, unique care and affection. The other thing is, Rasulullah ﷺ says that these women of Quraysh, they are very mindful, considerate, very observant of the possessions and the wealth and the mal of their husbands. Another important lesson, that the women of the house, the way they need to conduct themselves is that if the husband is earning and he is providing, etc., she should be mindful and observant of how the money is spent. Usually it's the women who kind of take charge and lead in terms of shopping and these type of things. So she should be mindful. If she knows that our income is this much, then the expenditure needs to be this much. If the income is this much and the expenditure is going to be this much, it's problematic. It's going to be a non-starter. It's going to put pressure on the husband. It's going to put pressure on what we call the family finances. So Rasulullah ﷺ praises the women of Quraysh, that just look at them, that they are very mindful, very observant when it comes to the mal, to the wealth of their husbands. In another hadith, Rasulullah ﷺ, he said that husnul tadbir nisful ma'isha. Husnul tadbir nisful ma'isha. That tadbir means good management. Husnul tadbir, good management, is half of livelihood. Meaning, a person earns. His earnings might be modest, but husnul tadbir, you manage it well. You're not wasting. You're not eating out 2 times a week, which has become like the norm now. Okay, you've got Netflix subscription, Farook subscription, and Sky. All these little mundane things, they add up to what we call a small mortgage nowadays, £300-400. If somebody's got Netflix, but it's Sky, sports, what else is there? Come on, eating out twice a week. Come on, tell me what else? But occasional every week, Uber Eats, the Palanu, Dimakru, all that. And then going to Chaiwala twice a week. Okay, this has become a thingy for young people. Gandhi chai, they don't like it, and they'll they'll consume tea made out of powder and which is not even fresh. They enjoy that. They'll pay 5 quid for that. Ajib. To me, 5 quid ta akka week ni chai khayge. Bye. 5 quid is all the entire week. I'm old school. Okay, I actually tell our madrasa students when I see them in Chaiwala, etc., I go, how much do you spend? Oh, 11 quid. I said, 11 quid, that's my whole week's breakfast done. 11 quid, that's my whole week's breakfast done, basically, with fresh tea. With fresh tea, fresh milk as well, basically. So, if you add these costs up, they add up. They add up. And you can understand why the husband needs to work and then the wife needs to work as well. And then, believe me, it's the children that get put on the back burner, if you know what I mean. They get put on the back burner. And I'll just finish off with small example. That a lot of parents, they aspire for their children to do Hifdul Quran. I'll just finish off with this. And you feel that I just need to, put them into Hifz class and then that's it, the job's done. That used to happen back in the days. You were pushed into Hifz class and parents wouldn't know anything better. You'd either come out after a couple of years as a Hafiz or you might not. Do you understand? You might come up with a few dandas, right? Doesn't happen like that nowadays. Does it happen like that nowadays? No. You've got to hold that child's finger and guide them through the Hifz process. That's how it is nowadays. These children are not ready, okay? They're not ready for that rigor. They have to be guided. You've got to hold angry pakrina, you've got to lead them for at least 2 years. Minimum 2 years. Minimum. What do I mean by that? I'll give you a small example. When they need to learn a portion, and this is also a tip I'm giving you, that how does a child learn by heart? Okay? Some parents think that he just needs to open the Quran and start learning. No. If he's going to learn 7 lines a day, if that's his average, 8 lines a day, whatever, 9 lines a day, he needs to first read that looking inside properly several times. So he'll start off with 1 verse, he'll read that 3-4 times. Okay, he'll then do the second verse, then he'll add them both together. This is all looking inside, okay, not by heart. Then he'll add the third verse, then he'll go from the top and come down. Why is he doing that for? Rehan Desai, come on, tell me. I can't hear you, you're mumbling. He is eliminating word errors. There's, if there's any potential word errors, you are eliminating them. Just imagine if you just launched into learning by heart and you're making an error, okay? And that error has not been picked up and he's learning it incorrectly. By the time he goes to his teacher, that error is now embedded. To undo that error is going to take 2-3 days. So to eliminate the word errors, he's going to read looking inside. Okay, first verse 3-4 times, second verse, join them up. I have a word for this, building blocks. Building blocks, basically. That you do 1 verse, add another one, go back to the first, third, like that. Just doing this process will also lead to what? Tell me, come on, we've got Hafizes here. Come on, this process, he's doing this. So the first verse, by the time he finishes, this whole process will take 10-12 minutes. This is not 5-minute process, bare minute process. No, this is a 12, 13, 14, 15-minute process. Okay, that first, second, third verse, by the time he finishes, he's probably read it 12 times, 15 times maybe. What's going to automatically happen? Come on, guys. He'll already have memorized quite a bit of it, and correctly as well. All he needs to do now in the morning is go over it and learn it, and learn it in a manner where he doesn't know it. You act like I don't know this first verse, so you start off with the first ayat, add the second, go back to the first. Wallahi, in the morning, in 15 minutes, he'll know his sabak. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's not just the hifz process. Somebody needs to sit with him at night to do this. Who's going to take that time out? Who is going to take the time out at night? Okay, after WhatsApp message nawra nahi tha hai. How are we going to give time to our kids? Somebody needs to do this with that child. 15 solid minutes. Then what you need to do is, you have to make sure he's learning his door. If he's done 1 sipara, 2 siparas, 3 siparas, 4 siparas, he's reading half a day, okay? You need to make sure he's learning that door at home, okay? Even if he learns at night a quarter plus 2 rukus, in the morning he goes over his sabak, he's only got 3 rukus door to do. But again, in the morning, somebody needs to wake the child up. What you got to understand is, in the first 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, till no results manifest, till he hasn't done a couple of siparas, you've got to do the heavy lifting. The parents have got to do the heavy lifting. One of the two has to take responsibility. It's either mum or either dad. One of the two has to take responsibility. But if, you got to understand, dad might have to leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, then it's the mum who's got to take the responsibility. She has to do the heavy lifting in terms of give time, wake him up, make sure he's reading. He's not going to read automatically. He's already got 1 foot in hifz class and 1 foot out. Okay? You've kind of coaxed him to go into hifz class. once he's done 7, 8, 9 siparas and he feels, yeah, I've achieved something, then you might say, yeah, away he's a bit self-motivated, away, but you still need to continue with that sabak process which I mentioned. But the point I'm making, the central point is, we are not able to give our children time. And because of that, I would say because of this reason, vast majority of kids, they fail in hifz. They fail to achieve hifz. Because we ourselves are not giving that time. If you feel he's just going to do it by himself, believe me, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, especially in the initial stages. Especially in the initial stages, it's not going to happen. Okay, you do get 1 in 100. You're always going to get that exception. You're going to get 1 in 100 who will be autopilot. Okay, he'll just get on with it. Okay, his nazra's good as well, mashallah, and he just gets on with it. He's naturally gifted as well, so picks up fatafat. You don't have to do too much heavy lifting. Okay, but wallahi, this is a tiny minority, a minority's minority, 0.1%. For the vast majority of kids, we have to give time. And I think we should remember this hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which he mentioned on the occasion of the proposal of Hani, that the women of Quraysh, he praised them. Why? They are caring, affectionate over their children. They put their children first. And that's what we need to do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to adopt these qualities of the women of Quraysh. Jazakallah. Subhanakallahumma.